Good afternoon, students. In today's class, I will going to discuss about the results of the French Revolution. In my previous classes, I discussed about the different causes of the French Revolution. French Revolution was broke out in the year 1789, and this revolution was continuing till 1799. In 1799, the Directory government was overthrown by Napoleon Bonaparte. Means here in 1799, French Revolution was ended, and this gave an opportunity to Napoleon Bonaparte to rule over France as a military dictator. And between 1789 to 1799, various events took place, and finally all those events were resulted in ending this Bourbon rule in France, or put an end to the ancient regime in France. And it also brought many changes, mainly in polity, economy, society, and other lives of the people. So here we have various outcomes or results of the French Revolution of 1789. Here French Revolution inspired the people of Europe and also at the same time the people of the world with the spirit of nationalism. The nationalistic aspirations which were produced during this French Revolution guided many patriots throughout the world. Mainly the watchwords of French Revolution, they are liberty, equality and fraternity became the guiding spirits of the nationalistic heroes. Then French Revolution established a republican form of government in France. It overthrew this absolute monarchy or autocratic rule of the Bourbon monarchs, and it established a republican form of government guided by the democratic principles. Mainly, the watchwords of the revolutionaries, they were liberty, equality and fraternity also gained importance after the revolution, and these were the democratic values or principles also included in the government or in the governance. So here French Revolution ended the absolute monarchy or political anarchy which was existed in France. Then French Revolution ended feudalism in France. By ending feudalism, social equality was established in French society. Here when revolution was started, the people of France mainly targeted social inequality which was existed in France. Here French society was divided into three estates, that is clergy, nobility and commoners or third estate. Here first two estates enjoying all the privileges. On the other hand, the people who belong to the third estate, they were exempted from all the privileges. Means they were also called as unprivileged class. So that type of social discrimination or inequality was also ended because of the French Revolution, and it also put an end to the feudalism or abolished feudalism, and slavery was also abolished in France. So this is also another important outcome of the French Revolution. Then here we have another result of the French Revolution, that is, it put an end to the special privileges enjoyed by the first and second estate. Means all people are considered as equal. There is no difference between rich and poor. That is after the revolution in France. And the properties of the clergy and nobility were also confiscated, means brought under the control of the government. So here social inequality was abolished and social equality was established in France. That is mainly because of the impact of the revolution. Then the new constitution was adopted to France, and that constitution declared rights of man, and these rights upheld the doctrine of popular sovereignty. Then French Revolution popularized the ideas of liberty, equality and fraternity throughout the world. These are the watchwords or guiding principles of the revolutionaries, and after the revolution these principles popularized throughout the world, that is liberty, equality and fraternity. Very important, because the people of France, they started their revolt mainly with the principles or these ideals, that is liberty, equality and fraternity. And after the revolution also these principles gained much importance or greater importance. Then here French Revolution spread the feeling of nationalism. Here after the revolution, many European countries such as Germany, Italy, Austria, Poland, they also started their national movements, and these national movements are mainly guided by these spirits of nationalistic aspirations, and those aspirations were gained from the French Revolution. That is, rise of nationalistic feelings were also one of the result of French Revolution. Then another result of the French Revolution was the loss of men or bloodshed. More than 70,000 people were died because of the revolution, or lost their lives because of the more than 17,000 people lost their lives, mainly during the reign of terror. That is a period, reign of terror, and that reign was led by Robespierre. He and his team guillotined all the suspected people, means the people who were in favor of the ancient regime or who were anti-revolutionaries were guillotined by the Robespierre. And during the same time, Louis XVI and his queen Mary Antoinette were also guillotined. So this revolution also caused bloodshed, that is loss of men. And then the French Revolution gave an opportunity to the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte as the dictator of France. This is another important outcome of the French Revolution, that is the rise of Napoleon Bonaparte as the ruler of France. Here Napoleon Bonaparte, he himself expressed or called as the child of French Revolution, because French Revolution gave an opportunity to Napoleon Bonaparte to rule over France. So he expressed that child of French Revolution. Here the dietary government which was came into power in France failed to solve the problems of the people, or it failed to tackle that disorder and chaos which was existed in French society at that time. The situation was handled by these Napoleon Bonaparte, and he also gained an opportunity to rule over France by overthrowing this directory government, that is in the year 1799. So here the rise of Napoleon as a ruler of France is another important outcome of the French Revolution. Then so all these are the different outcomes or results of the French Revolution. So with this, French Revolution is also became one of the important event in the history of Europe and at the same time in the history of the world, because it ended the ancient regime and gave rise to nationalism, then Napoleon Bonaparte, then it also guided by the democratic principles, republican form of government was established, means it changed the views of the people throughout the world. So here French Revolution is considered as one of the important event in the history of Europe. So all this is about the results of the French Revolution. Thank you, students.